Yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, you know, I've been on a what? Mission. Go. Okay, let's get it. Got a little time on my hands like a wristwatch. I don't got time for the brakes and the pit stop. Race through the gridlock, take it like Chris Rock. Right to the chin, still win. Heavy metals like Slipknot. Got the driving, I got tunnel vision. I just hit my stride the way I run the business. I've been making paper like I'm Dunder Mifflin. See the end game, I got one division. Look, I just did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, you know, I've been on a mission. Okay, let's get it.
Last race of the regular season in Daytona can make or break hopes of a few drivers on the cut line for the chase. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eliza Bethel alongside Matt Sisler for SnB's Last Chance Saloon 160 at Daytona. Matt, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right, Eliza. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's windy out here at Daytona and a little foggy, so it's going to be an interesting broadcast for sure. But man, we got a lot going on tonight. Like I said, it is the last race in the regular season. Jimmy Cocker, he's already got the regular season championship tucked away here, so he's good on that. But we have to talk about some cut line drivers for sure. What do you think's going to be happening tonight as far as racing goes?
Oh, I mean, anything can happen at Daytona. You talk about Jimmy Cocker. He especially now has nothing to lose now that he's got the regular season title locked up. Defending Daytona winner from this season. Expect him to be right at the front. I expect him to be in contention going for it because, again, what does he have to lose? He doesn't really have anything to lose by trying to go for it.
That's very true. I want to take a look at the point standings here. You can see Jimmy Cocker to the good 282 points here in first, and he's been in first for a long time. But I want to take a look at the cut line drivers. Fortson Poston, he is actually not racing, so he will go under the cut line. That is going to put Luke Allen hopefully up next into that line, but he has to do good first and finish well in the race. Brendan Book not here so far, and that puts Andrew Sanford. He's really got to do well. Possible win situation here tonight to try to make good on points. But man, so many different things that can happen tonight. It's going to be an exciting race, but draft-wise, it's going to be a challenge because you cannot be on top of each other to make yourselves go faster.
The bubble of air in between the cars to try to go to the front when and if that time comes.
Well, since we're sitting here, we're in practice. We got about 6 minutes left in practice. I want to have a chat with none other than Luke Allen. He is sitting there about 4 points under the cut line here. And Luke, it's Eliza in the booth. How you doing out there?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. So we were just talking about you and how your situation is with points. How do you think your race is going to go tonight, and how are you going to make sure that you can make it above that cut?
So yeah, I think I don't see Forts in here, so I'm going to be the last one in as it stands. And that means I should probably play it safe, which I don't like, but I guess that's what we'll have to do. My other option is just hang around Sandy, and if we're both in a crash, then I'm still good. And if he wins, I'll be at the front to kind of cover him off. So we'll see how it goes. Depends on where I qualify. But I'll probably play it safe for at least the first half of the race.
Now, I know that you guys have a lot of teammates and all that stuff. Are you guys going to be doing a lot of strategy talks, working together with draft? Is that going to be a huge help to you tonight?
Oh, yeah. That always is. We got a lot of guys like this. We can get a little creative with the pit stops because we'll not have enough people to make the draft work. When it gets down to it, it's pretty much everybody for themselves. When we get to that point, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, in the beginning, we'll all work together, try to be at the front, and then we all make a decision from there.
Absolutely. Well, I wish you a ton of luck tonight. I hope your race goes well, and hopefully we'll see you in the booth afterwards.
All right, thank you.
All right, you guys heard it there from Luke Allen, and I know we have Andrew Sanford. He is a little bit underneath that, about 31 points below, so that is going to be a little bit more of a difficult situation to get above that cut line. And I'd like to get him in here, see what he thinks, if he's moving into tonight confident or not. So let's talk to Andrew Sanford. Andrew, it's Eliza. How you doing out there?
Doing good, Eliza. How about yourself? How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. I'm
Pretty
ready
good.
for tonight. I know it is windy out there. It's a little bit foggy, but are your chances clear for you tonight, trying to make it above that cut line, or how are you going to make it happen?
I got nothing to lose, so this is gonna be fun.
Fair enough.
I feel like I'm pretty conservative when it comes to these tracks, but I gotta get points, so it's just gonna be better for me to be up front, hopefully. I'm excited. It'll be fun no matter what. So.
Absolutely. I think you've had a really strong season, so it's great to see you out there, and I hope to see you make it for sure. If we could have everybody make it, that'd be awesome. But unfortunately, that's not the case. But it would be actually pretty awesome to see you in there. So I do wish you a ton of luck. Strategy-wise, do you guys have a plan, or you think you're just going to do that in race?
I think strength in numbers is kind of the name of the game. Hopefully the FIW boys are behind me, but I don't know. I think it's just going to have to be a circumstances race. If you got numbers with you at the end, that's great. If not, you're going to have to really race for it. So.
I feel you on that. Well, I wish you a ton of luck tonight. Great talking to you, and let's hope to see you in the booth afterwards.
Heck yeah.
All right, Matt. Man, oh man, I know this fog. I'll tell you what, I just feel like this fog just kind of shows how the situation on the cut line is just not clear. I mean, so many different variables can happen tonight at Daytona. It's Daytona. It can get crazy. You know the big one can happen. So, you know what I'm going to ask you next. This has nothing to do with the cut line, but who do you see winning? Yeah, who's winning tonight? Who you got?
I'm going to go with our previous Daytona winner because Daytona is such a crapshoot anyways. You might as well go with the hot hand. And the hot hand here at Daytona is that I believe he's in a Virginia Tech car tonight, that number 11 Toyota of Jimmy Cocker. It got it done last time. He's got nothing to lose. Already 4 wins on the season or 5?
4. This would be his 5th if he gets it.
Already 4 wins on the season. No reason to not try to go for number 5. I think he takes it tonight. To flip that back on you, who do you think is going to win, Eliza?
Oh man, my pick is not on the track, but we've talked about it. Austin Mitty. We got to bring his I don't even see his car out there, but you guys don't sleep on him. We've talked about him all season that a win is coming for him. And I know FIWB is going to be tough because these guys, they want to see their whole team into the chase here. So Austin Mitty, he's got a lot to work on. But I'll tell you what, he's got a ton of speed. He comes out here. I would not be surprised to see him on pole. I already spoke to him briefly before practice, and he's wondering what he can do if he can go below the lines in qualifying. So you know he's already thinking about it. He's thinking the best way to get the fastest lap time. So I'm going with Austin Mitty tonight.
I mean, and for clarification for anybody watching at home, because of how we do qualifying, their drivers are allowed to go below the double yellow line if they so choose, especially in the tri-oval, to try to pick up a little bit more time in the qualifying sessions. But during the race, unless you get forced down there, we play by the normal NASCAR rule of that being out of bounds.
Absolutely. You can see Francis Hamilton making his way on in as we have about 25 seconds left on the clock. And Bobby Light, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. I hope everyone out there is doing well, but it's going to be crazy. You cannot draft in these cars. We talked about that the last time we were here at Daytona. You cannot be on top of each other. You have to use that bubble to your advantage. You will go faster if you do have that space in between you. We also have a wind situation here, 15-mile-per-hour wind. I mean, that is a lot of wind. So at some points on the track, you are going to get slowed down from that amount of wind. You got to take care of that engine. Don't overheat it. We've had a couple of drivers already pop that engine tonight.
Yeah, and that's something we have to be aware of recent updates to iRacing. Well, maybe not most recent, but earlier this year we got an update to iRacing that made it be that really shrunk the I don't want to really say durability of these engines in all NASCARs on plate tracks, but definitely made it harder to lock bumpers and just go, because you used to be able to do that in every car, and it wasn't always the fastest with the Gen 7, but it was a way to do it. Now you can't, because if you get right up on somebody, you have maybe at the track like Daytona, you maybe have about a lap and a half before you're in the red and having to back off to make sure you don't grenade the engine. And it used to be you could push for at least 2 to 3 laps straight before you'd have a problem.
Yeah, totally different nowadays and how you have to handle this. And we already see Jordan McGraw. He is out on track just trying to not push the car right now. You want to make sure that the car has enough to go. This is one of those tracks where you want to really get that engine woed up on that next portion of the lap once you cross the line. And you can see him taking it easy right here. A lot of drivers are going to have a different strategy. So we'll take a look at Thomas Harmon. What's he doing? He's already crossing the line full throttle, so we'll see what he does. A lot of drivers will be against that yellow line. Some of them will take the high side and try to get that car to max speed, but we'll see in the end. These times, Matt, are going to be extremely close.
Definitely, and as somebody who's not the best at plate qualifying, I can tell you it can be insanely annoying when you think you've done everything right, when you've done what you've been told to do by numerous people, and then you end up mid-pack even though you feel like you did everything right. And it's just such, it's qualifying is such a crapshoot as well, because it's just everything is so minute. Like, you have to hit your shifts, you have to keep the wheels perfectly straight, or you're gonna scrub off speed. There's so many little variables that go into putting down a perfect lap in a plate qualifying session, and there are some people who not very good at race, who the racecraft isn't great, but they turn around and they can put the car at the front of a pack at a plate track, while the rest of us are left sitting there scratching our heads going, how'd they do that?
Yeah, and like I said, everyone's got a different strategy, and what works for one may not work for another. But in the end, I mean, the times are going to be so incredibly close. Thomas Harmon already on board with a 50.596. Jordan McGraw with a 52.4, so I guarantee he's going to use the next lap as his fastest. So we'll see what he can do. You can see him kind of bringing it up, coming out of the corner, letting that car keep that speed as much as it can. Joe Turley on the high side, guaranteed try to get that speed around the corner. But you can see already the sunset is going to be happening tonight. Riley Sawyer next on the board with a 50.945. And Harmon, man, he's got a nice little lead out there in time.
Yeah, he does. 0.4 of a second. Very impressive to be that far ahead, as Matthew Gale goes to second place, a 50.619. Now Jordan McGraw, I noticed he went really slow on his warm-up lap. It turns out that was the way to do it. He goes to the top of the board, 50.552. He eclipses Harmon by 12 1/1000ths of a second. He's on the provisional pole.
And this is one of these tracks, again, where I personally feel like I either want to be in the front, like front row, or I want to be in the back. I don't want to be in the hornet's nest where you're right in the middle where everything is going on if there's a wreck. So, I would not be upset to be in the back, but man, take a look. Austin Mitty, a 50.532. Jose Ruiz, a 50.544. Hunter Johnson, 50.549. This is where these times get so incredibly close. The top 8 are going to be in the 5s now. So, man, they are on top of each other.
Yeah, and it can just be like, we do have dynamic weather is a thing here in iRacing. Obviously, not to the point of us suddenly getting a rain shower in turn 1 and everybody wrecking NASCAR. But you do have like the winds will shift, the track temperature shifts in a practice session or a qualifying session. So somebody might get like a better wind down the back straightaway that wasn't there when the other cars went earlier. It can be even that can help you, as Jimmy Cocker's on the top of the board with a 50.513. Impressive time for our defending Daytona winner.
Absolutely. I mean, he's got a few Daytona wins under his belt, and that is your pick tonight. Mine came in second, so front row is going to be stacked right there. Jimmy Cocker on pole, Austin Mitty in second. Man, it is going to be incredibly close. 64 laps tonight. Let's go ahead and get this grid up, as these guys will be coming to get ready to go start racing. 64 laps for season 6, Last Chance Saloon 160 here at Daytona. And Jimmy Cocker is going to be on pole tonight of 50.513. He's going to have Austin Mitty to his outside on that front row in that 77 machine. Row 2 is going to be Jose Ruiz in the 23 with Hunter Johnson in the 88. Row 3 is going to be Luke Allen in the number 7 with Jordan McGraw in the 34. Row 4 is going to be Evan Adams in the 29 with Joseph Turley in the 30. And in row 5 is going to be Thomas Harmon in the 18 with Tristan Helf in the 38.
Row 6, it's Riley Sawyer and one of our drivers on the cut line, Andrew Sanford in 12th with Matthew Gale and Philip Bridgman, the last two cars to take time in 13th and 14th. Brody Folliker, the Xfinity champion from a few seasons ago, leads off the cars who did not settle time alongside Francis Hamilton. John Velocity and Michael J. Adams make up row number 9, and then it's Craig Meyer and Dakota Wilkins in a pair of Toyotas making up row 10.
Row 11 is going to be Matt Burgess in that 56 with Dylan C. Robb to his outside in the 16. And last but not least is going to be Brian Pizzikimi in that 78 machine sitting P23. And that is going to be your field, guys. Man, it is going to be stacked. I know that last Daytona race, it was for opener, Matt. We were not expecting these guys to race so hard at the start. I'm kind of curious. Do you think we're going to see that again? I mean, by lap 8, I went back, and these guys were going 3 wide by lap 8.
Well, I mean, it was a race to get to the front, Eliza. Like you said, you'd either rather be right at the front or right at the back, and that's kind of my philosophy as well. Now, normally, because I'm bad at qualifying, I tend to opt towards the back because it's right there, and I don't think I've got the car to go up to the front yet. But it's entirely possible we see it. Like, and again, there are drivers. We spoke to 2 of them on the cut line that have to go, and there are more that we didn't get the chance to speak to that they need a Hail Mary type of play. They need to get to the front fast and lead laps. So it's entirely possible we'll be seeing guys that didn't take the shot in the opener that they've got to go now. They're going to go now. So anything can happen these first few laps.
Yeah, I agree. And FIWB, I mean, they're stacked with teammates, so they have a huge advantage with who they can work with and who would be willing. But then the rest of the field, I mean, these guys may end up working together just to go against that and try to fight that huge partnership that they have. So we'll see what happens here. But man, I think it's going to be a really fun, exciting night. And I'm excited to see how they handle all the different situations. I mean, you're talking about bump drafting here. You don't want to be on top of the car in front of you. You have to hold it steady and make sure your temperatures are good. If you are getting too hot, I mean, you're going to pop that engine and your night is over. And that's exactly what you don't want to see happen.
Oh, no. Because we do not have fast repairs in this league. If you blow the engine here, day over. This isn't the old days of iRacing where you could pull down and spend 30 minutes sitting there getting an engine swap. You blow the engine here, day is over, you're done, go straight to the garage.
All right, here we go. The start of Daytona, lap 1 of 64. These guys are green. What are we going to do? How's the race going to go? They are 2 by 2 all the way through. The flag waves, and man, they are just stacked on top of each other, and I think it's just going to be like this for a while. Now, 3 wide, we'll see if that happens as quickly as it did last time, but you can see these front guys, they're pretty well close. The top 6 cars on top of each other.
For sure. A pair of 3 white and darker colored cars up top is Austin Mitty getting the push from the 88 of Hunter Johnson, and now the 34 of Jordan McGraw on the actually make that 5 white and black cars up high. You got you also have Evan J. Adams and the 30 of Joe Turley up there. They were all pushing that 77 to the front. He leads at the bottom line off 4, but Hunter Johnson's got a run on the outside line. Coming down to the stripe, it's Hunter Johnson who leads lap 1.
Yeah, has a nice run on that outside. Jordan McGraw giving him a nice push and a little bit of space between him and the car behind him. But that inside line going back to the lead, and that's going to be led by Austin Mitty with Jimmy Cocker behind him. So these guys already on top of each other. Just, man, there is no give between these guys. They are on top of each other, waiting to take another position. Unfortunately, there's just not going to be a lot that they can do at the moment. But that high side starting to struggle a little bit.
Just a little, and you got to wonder if the 34 got a little bit overheated. And again, like I said in the pre-race, you can't push for more than about a lap here at Daytona without having to back off. We'll see if the outside line can come back forward, or if McGraw only had like one real good push in him right at this moment. I think, bro, trouble middle of the pack. 24. Who was that? That was the 24, I believe, in trouble. They all kept it straight. Dylan Robb down on the apron.
Man, Philip Bridgman involved. Yeah, Dylan C. Robb, he is unfortunately involved also. As you said, it does stay green. Austin Mitty still leading the field, and his last lap was a 47.07, which is going to be the fastest, and he is out front. You can see that really switched things up, and these guys single file for the top 6 drivers, and then we have the outside line going, but there's only 3 drivers up there, so they're gonna have to find someone to work with them or get back in line on that low side.
Absolutely, right now that just that outside line completely coming undone as Austin Mitty now shows the way from Jimmy Cocker, Jose Ruiz, Luke Allen, and Thomas Harmon, the top 5. Really surprised that the outside line folded up that fast. Maybe they saw the chaos in the mirrors and went, no, that's enough of that, thanks, we don't want a caution yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's so early. We're only on lap 4 of 64. We got plenty of racing left. And this is another thing we're going to have to talk about. Once these guys go in for a green flag stop, there's going to be a lot of drivers on the line to go in. They're going to have to talk to each other about who's going in what position. I'm going to go high, you go down low. Let's make sure that we all get in safely. Because if you're going in and somebody wrecks, that could pile up drivers, and then you're out a whole bunch of teammates to draft with. Exactly what you don't want to happen. So there's just so much strategy and so much teamwork that has to happen at these tracks.
And you got to think of like drivers on single teams or smaller teams. I know Output, we have we've got Thomas Harmon and Brian Pizzicani, but right now Brian had to check up for that near wreck in turns 1 and 2 a few laps ago. He's about he's the length of the short chute from 4 to the tri-oval behind this lead pack. So right now Harmon's all by himself. So Harmon's just gonna have to go off of what pack he thinks is gonna be the best one when they pit. Same goes for the Nitro Motorsport 67 of Brandon Gale. Another single car team out there. No teammates to rely on for data or like calls are gonna pit with like trying to coordinate a pit stop before you come to the radio. So those guys, they're going to have to adapt and react on the fly when it comes to other teams pitting, as Harmon trying to go to the lead up top.
Take a look at that. These guys just working together very well. We talked about this duo right here. Let's talk about it. Hunter Johnson, Thomas Harmon. I mean, when these guys get together and draft, I mean, it is a combo that is so extremely difficult to beat. And you can see they're leading the field right now. But that high side trying to make their way up there, and that's going to be Riley Sawyer in that 84. He's got teammate Andrew Sanford directly behind, so he is in good hands. And I see you guys out there in chat. Braves, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the kind words. Coward, hey man, I got Austin Mitty winning tonight. He's currently sitting P3. Did a great job in qualifying, so fingers crossed this is his win.
You got to think of, you got to think of everybody on the cut line when it comes to trying to get a win, to your point, Eliza. Like, you've got, Andrew Sanford, like, he's got to be up near the front right now. he's third on that outside line, running about 7th. If he can get up there, that's exactly what he wants. Is they put Philip Bridgman a lap down. I believe he came down to maybe get a bit of repair to that 24 car after he took that hard shot to the turn 1 wall.
Yeah, Andrew Sanford and Luke Allen, we spoke to both those drivers before the race, and right now they're sitting 7th and 8th. Luke Allen, he is 4 points below the cutoff line. Andrew Sanford, he's negative 31, so we're talking he's got to be in a win situation almost at this point, especially if Luke does well. So he said that he is out here just to have fun. Either way, he's good with it, but it would be cool to see him get in the chase along with Luke Allen. It's just going to be extremely tight tonight.
Yep, and you're going to see teammates, I wouldn't be surprised if we get down to the brass tacks at the end of the race where a teammate might sell out a teammate, just because he needs every single point he can get. Sanford desperately needs every point he can get over Allen. So, right, and remember, we spoke to Luke before the race went green. He said he just wants to stay around Sanford. Right now, he's the only car he had between him and the outside line is the 84 Riley. He's right now, Luke, holding to his strategy and just trying to stay within radar range of that 37 car, is now leading the outside line.
Yeah, Andrew Sanford has made some nice gains, up 7 spots from where he started. Riley Sawyer right there next to him, gaining 5 spots, but Thomas Harmon, biggest gainer so far at 8 spots, and he is currently leading the race, and he's doing great on points. He's already locked in, good to go, so he is in the chase. And we have quite a few drivers that are locked in and good to go, and it's going to be our, looks like our top 7 drivers: Jimmy Cocker, Thomas Harmon, Francis Hamilton, Tristan Helf, Brody Folliker, and Austin Mitty, along with Jordan McGraw. All these drivers good to go for tonight and to the chase.
And and for them as well, this is why you might see the aggression level pick up, or drivers make moves that they wouldn't normally do. If you're already locked in on points, but you don't have a win this season, why not make a move that you wouldn't normally make? It might win you the race here, so just be ready when we get down to the final few laps. Just keep your eyes on those drivers who are already locked in.
Gonna talk about Evan Adams. He is up 22 points.
Brody Folliker around on the back straightaway. Caution is out. I'll tell you who that's unfortunate for Brody, but I'll tell you who that saves. Dylan Robb and Dakota Wilkins. That's massive for those guys. They were about 3/4 of a lap down. I don't know if Brody just got a bad push or what, but around he goes on the back straightaway. Unfortunate for that number 42 Steel machine.
Yeah, it looks like he just kind of went down low. I'm not sure. I mean, his wheel was pretty straight, so I'm kind of thinking it had to be a push that sent him down there just enough to cause some chaos. But unfortunate for him. I mean, he's pretty solid in the points here, good to go, locked in. But yeah, that, as you said, that's going to help some other drivers here.
I think he was trying to look. I honestly think he was maybe trying to go to the middle there, below Evan Adams, as Adams was running a little bit higher off too. He saw the opening, kind of tried to turn down, and I think that's just unfortunate, they meet in the middle, because Craig Meyer ran up just a bit on corner exit. Maybe got a little tight there, and unfortunately just Brody gets the worst end of it. Unfortunate for him, but I think he's still driving, so he'll be able to try and repair it here and try to get back out there. No meatball though, so that's a positive for that 42 machine.
Definitely a positive for him. I'm not seeing a lot of damage, so hopefully it's nothing too severe. We have Dakota Wilkins behind him. Dylan Robb, he is also behind Dakota. And from earlier, Philip Bridgman, he's out there on track, so good news for him. But Thomas Harmon, he's leading the field. We'll see if these guys go into pit. It'll be interesting to see who will stay out, who goes in. Yeah,
and I definitely will see a number of them go, and wow, looks like, more than I thought. I thought when we saw only the front 2 stay out, we might have seen somebody kind of mid-pack try to gain some track position, but no, only the front 2 drivers Hunter Johnson and Thomas Harmon stay on the track, Philip Bridgman, the lucky dog, he'll get that wave around and only be 1 lap down. And he'll obviously come in to get some repairs, but everybody else coming down.
Race off pit road begins, and you can see Luke Allen is going to be next on board. Matthew Gale, Joe Turley, Riley Sawyer, Jose Ruiz, and it goes on and on. But man, oh man, kind of surprised these two stayed out. Very interesting. Thomas Harmon, Hunter Johnson, these two have known each other, raced against each other, worked with each other for several seasons in this league and other leagues. So these guys are no stranger and always have a great strategy.
Yeah, and they obviously know something we don't, or they're banking on another quick yellow next 10 so laps. We'll have to see how that plays out for the 18 and 88. These other drivers can now go obviously 13 laps further. Just gonna see, can the drivers make it from here? Do we have an idea, Eliza, of what a fuel run was if they had stayed green?
Man, I think it's around I want to say 60. I could be off on that one, but Evan Adams, he is still on pit lane. Brody Folliker also pit lane, along with Francis Hamilton. So I'm kind of wondering if we have more damage than what we thought.
Doesn't appear to be anything from. I'm doing a quick look right now on that 29 machine. He's dropped the jack. He's down and away. So I don't think the 29 had any more damage. Obviously, the 24 and 42. Quite a bit of damage. Surprised Francis Hamilton's still sitting there. There doesn't appear to be a single scratch on that 48 machine, so maybe there's every potential that has. Maybe he was just getting a drink or something.
Could be.
It could have been that. Could have been that, or it could have been hidden steering damage. We don't always get the visual cue up here. Sometimes it doesn't sync up.
Couple more drivers on pit lane, though. Jordan McGraw, Tristan Helf, John Velocity, all going down pit lane once again. Probably a top off. So, yeah. Perhaps thinking that this is going to go green for the long run here.
I mean, they're hedging their bets on it. It's not a bad idea. And for Bryant, like I said, for a number of these drivers, that caution was a godsend because we had 2 of them, I believe. It was Rob and Wilkins who were 3/4 of a lap down to the leaders. They were coming through turns 3 and 4 when the caution came out with the leaders midway down the back straightaway. So they were going to be lapped within about 3 to 4 laps time. And then we also had another few drivers, one of them being Brian Pizzikemi, who were about a half a lap down. Probably not going to go a lap down before we got to green flag stops, but definitely better for them that they get caught up and back to this pack.
Absolutely. You can see the guys are lined up side by side. The lights are out on the pace car, so we should go back to green this time around. We'll see how they go, but first caution of the night, and just a driver. I don't know what happened with him, but kind of drifted down. Bad push or just distracted, but kind of drifted down, and that brought out our first caution there.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. It did look to me like Brody saw a gap, tried to go to the middle of 3 wide, and unfortunately, as he made that move to go, Craig Meyer just drifted up on corner exit. So not sure why Brody tried to move down, but we know Craig came up a little, and unfortunately met in the middle, and the 42 ended up. Yep, 42 unfortunately got the bad end of it, but now we're going back to green right now. Johnson on the gas, and we are green again.
Back to green, lap 15 of 64. Thomas Harmon started on the top, brought it down right in front of Hunter Johnson on that low line. Meanwhile, Matthew Gale is going to lead that outside line with several drivers behind him, but man, they are going to have to work hard to get that momentum going, because that low line, they are stacked and on top of each other.
Absolutely. I didn't think about that with Harmon choosing to start from that outside line. Johnson laid up a little bit and let his buddy that he's raced with for a few seasons now drop down in front of him. They got a pair of the Dart cars behind them. Good strategy for Harmon to take the lead as that outside line falling all the way back. Matthew Gale probably about 8th as we come off turn 4.
You got to remember, you can't push also. You have to leave that bubble and that's just going to make you go faster in this set and how it works with these guys. So you have to leave that space. And as I say that, I mean, Hunter Johnson, I can tell you he's one of the best at getting you up there. You're either going to win or you're going to wreck. There's no in between. So we'll see what happens here. But man, these guys are absolutely moving. Luke Allen is going to be third. Joe Turley is going to be fourth, and Jose Ruiz going to round out your top 5 with Jimmy Cocker, who has a few Daytona wins under his belt. He sits P6.
Michael J. Adams having a terrific run for him right now in P7. Austin Mitty running in the 8th position just behind him. Matthew Gale runs 9th, and the final car on that single file line right now is Jordan McGraw in 10th.
Andrew Sanford 11th, and he's got Riley Sawyer in 12th right next to him. Dylan Robb, these guys are switching positions all over the place. It just goes to show how quickly you can gain or lose spots here at super speedways. But Brody Folliker, I mean, he was involved in that. Take a look. He's already up to P11. That's absolutely insane, Matt. I mean, welcome to super speedways. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? The front of that 42 car, as I look at it right now, that's pretty well beat up. The right front splitter's off the ground. But as long as the engine's not damaged and he stays in the pack, if he's got help and he can stay up there, he's fine to push. He's fine to stay in the pack. If he gets shuffled out, it's going to be very, very hard for him to try to cling on to the back of the pack if he doesn't have somebody kind of move up to help him. So he should be okay where he is right now, to running the outside of the 67 of Matthew Gale.
Take a look at these cars. We got Brody Folliker on that outside line. He's currently sitting P11 behind Dylan C. Robb, and it looks like these guys trying to make it 3 wide. Dylan going to move up with him, and that's going to put a car in the sucker hole. It looks like it's going to be Hunter Johnson, leaving him out to dry. Not sure where he's going to go, but man, 3 wide at Daytona can get a little tricky very quickly.
Absolutely it can, especially if you're the cars trying to make a hole in the middle right there. The 88 is Thomas Harmon switching lanes aggressively from the top to the bottom as they head for turn 1.
A lot of movement from these drivers trying to hold it steady after the tires wear out, and they're nowhere near what that is going to do right now, but trying to hold it steady for so long because you have drivers in front of you, drivers behind you. One bad move and it could cause the big one. So you have to be on it at all times. You're thinking about who's around you, what move you can make to gain positions, what your next strategy is going to be as far as pit stops. So there's a lot on the line at Daytona.
For sure. Like you said, all it takes is one mistake from a front-running car. We've seen it happen so many times in real life and in iRacing, where the car at the front just gets out of line a little bit, the guy behind can't check up, or tries to make a late block with the car already there, and it just becomes calamity for everybody in the pack. You have to be hyper aware at all times. That's why this racing can be a lot of fun, but it also can be one of the more stressful types in all of iRacing.
The top 3 drivers on that low line, nose to tail. A little bit surprising to see that happen as it is a little bit slower. Jose Ruiz goes onto the apron, and he is going to go straight up the track. Everyone just trying to fan out, trying to get a clean spot.
Did not hear him call that call.
Oh man.
That's a big one.
Radio connection.
Yeah.
The one on your headset, on your headboard, actually, on your left.
What a mistake. Thomas Harmon, pretty much the only one of those leaders to, pretty much the only one to escape that clean. I think him and Joseph Turley, excuse me, being able to escape, and Michael J. Adams as well. That was something off of turn 4.
Yeah, just hard pushing from Hunter Johnson, and I told you, either wrecking or winning the race, and that's just one of those times where it's hard driving. And take a look at Brody Folliker trying to make his way around Luke Allen. Great driving on his end. Does not want to get more damage on that car because, as Matt said earlier, it's imperative that you take care of that front end, and that's exactly what he did right there.
For sure. And damage and compounding damage just gets worse when it comes to iRacing. It can, like, if your car's already structurally damaged at the front end and you take more, there's a worse chance that you're going to get steering damage, which affects the handling, or your engine can drop power. So nice job by Brody being able to evade right there, as that happened right in front of that 42 machine, and he was able to weave his way through.
Not sure what kind of damage Jose Ruiz has as he got that push heading into the corner and snagged the apron, but it looks like he does have a little bit of damage. We're going to see who all comes in, but remember, this is the final race before the chase. Only 12 drivers move on, and so these drivers are looking for every single point that they can get after tonight's race. So everything just counts, and you want to bring your home. You want to bring your machine home in one piece, clean, and with as many points as you can.
For sure. And speaking of such things, our drivers on the cut line, the two we spoke to, Eliza, I mean, you didn't wish them good luck, but apparently that decided to curse them anyways. Both Luke Allen and Andrew Sanford collected. Allen with quite a bit of damage to that number 7 machine's front end, a lot on the nose. Then Joe Turley, his teammate, also with a bit of damage to the front end. Sanford, right and left front with damage. I'm seeing a thing from Austin Mitty saying he's got 5 minutes of damage on that Chili 77 machine. So a lot of good cars with damage now. Jimmy Cocker as well, one of them that got hit a couple times in that mess.
Yeah, that one definitely hurt. Not what you want to see so early on in the race. And Joe Turkey said it's just absolute madness, so much fun. And I think that last part might have been a little sarcastic. It's got to be frustrating.
Just a bit. Yeah, I'm seeing another message saying Andrew Sanford saying 8 minutes of damage on that 37 car, and that's going to really hurt his hopes of trying to get through. I don't know the damage on Luke Allen's number 7 machine, but man, that's a lot of damage. This, as the guy with the Flex Seal guy says, man, that's a lot of damage. The good news is for Philip Bridgman, he was 2 laps down repairing damage under green. He's back on the lead lap here, Eliza, so he'll be able to make up a few spots just for cars that have to sit there and get damage repair. So he's back on the lead lap. He's back in the fight.
All right, well, Joe Turkey is talking out here in chat, so let's get Mr. Turley in here. It's Eliza. How you doing out there, Joe?
I am doing great.
Now, I know. You said you're having a blast here, but take us through what happened as far as what you saw.
I have absolutely no clue what happened. I was just pushing Luke, and then Luke disappeared and was replaced by either Jose or whoever was being pushed by him. So I just saw that, and then I just hoped I could get through. Got about 2 minutes of damage, got it all fixed here, and we'll get some tires on this thing. Maybe this time. No, we won't get it this time. Bye. I got to catch the field here. But it'll be fine. We're having fun. It's so much fun when you can actually just make moves instead of wait on everybody to make a mistake.
Well, that's true. I can see that too. You're 18 points to the good above the cut line moving into tonight's race. Are you confident that you're going to be making it into the final 12 there?
I'm pretty sure by math, since Book and Fortson both missed this race, I should be in as long as I finish like 20th. So
nice. All right.
I'm feeling pretty good, pretty loose.
Heck yeah, let's go get it done. And great to see you out there. Glad you're having fun.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having this.
All right, you guys heard it there from Joe Turley. Words are hard for me tonight. Messed up his name first, but yeah. These guys lined up. Tristan Helf going to lead us back to green. Evan Adams, who we saw involved in an earlier incident. Matt, this goes to show how quickly things can change. He's going to be P2 starting back to green. Matthew Gale in 3rd, Riley Sawyer 4th, and Brian Pizzakimmy is going to be in your top 5.
Yeah, and again, talk about how quickly things change, Eliza. Remember, he was one of those drivers that when Philip Bridgman had that little bit of an incident earlier and guys had to check up, he was one of those that was about a half a lap down and in danger of going a lap down if this race went completely green. Now he gets to line up as the 3rd car on that inside line. So see if that 78 tries to go to the front, especially with his buddy Thomas Harmon right behind him on this restart.
Going to be interesting. You can see that pace car getting off the track here. We're getting ready to go back to green after our
Green flag.
second caution of the night. Here we go, man, guys. Kind of separated on this restart, but Tristan Helf on that low line. He's got Matthew Gale directly behind him, Brian Pizzichemi, and Thomas Harmon. So a very strong low line, and you only have 3 cars up top. Let's see what they can do.
See if they can get back to the front. You got a pair of Adams sandwiching Riley Sawyer up top right now. Not a whole lot of run out of that 29. It's Matthew Gale giving a huge push to Tristan Helf down the back straightaway. The top 5, almost top 6 cars on that bottom clear of the outside line as they head for turn number 3.
David, I see you out there. He says, fun to watch, not to drive. Hey, well, according to some of these drivers, they're having a blast not having to worry about who's going to mess up and just race hard and not, save. Because sometimes you do at Daytona and Talladega. You want to save the car so much that nobody gets out of line. Nobody's making a move. It's definitely not happening here.
With the number of cars running around with damage, like, you now get to see a number of cars running right at the front that we hadn't seen all night with that accident taking out a number of them. You got Tristan Helf out front. Matthew Gale restarted as high as 4th once, but rapidly faded because the outside line completely came apart. And then Pizzichemi, again, who was nearly a half a lap down, he's right up there behind the 67 as they come off turn 4.
That outside line, a lot of bobble going on up there with the 4th and 5th car, but they are still moving along. Unfortunately, not as strong as I bet they would hope they could be, but that bottom line is just, it's going to be the dominating one right now. Lap 26 of 64. Tristan Helf still in the lead. Matthew Gale right there, and it would be really cool to see Gale get a win here this season, especially at Daytona. He does a great job, but man, you and I were talking. Sometimes he just does not have luck on his side.
I mean, this season, Eliza, if he didn't have bad, he's one of those drivers, right? If he didn't have bad luck, he'd have none. When he's had speed, he's been collected in an accident that's put him out of contention. And when he's not been in an accident, he hasn't been able to find his way to the front. Now running in P2, he was right in the mix at the end of Daytona, was right up there at the end of Echo Park before he got collected in a late race accident. He has the pace on these plate tracks to do something. We'll see if he can't find a way to bring that 67 home, at least on the podium, if not into victory lane.
Absolutely. I'm board with Matt Burgess right now, currently sitting 14th. Started 21st, and you can see how it is out here, feathering that throttle, trying to make sure that you're off the driver in front of you. If you guys know in your race, you don't want to push the pusher for the most part. I mean, you can if you're getting elbows out and it's at the end of the race, but there's still a lot of racing left, not even at 30 here. So you just want to take care of that machine, and these guys just giving each other some room. You are faster, not touching the driver in front of you, which is a little bit different than what we've seen in previous seasons.
Absolutely. And how about the 2 Adams running up there? We've seen Evan Adams threaten for the win, but Michael J. Adams has not been able to put together like a complete race yet, but right now running in the top 5, pushing I always get this wrong. Is his son?
Son is leading the father, so quite the duo right here. The 29 in front of the 3 car. That's going to be Evan and Michael J. Adams on the outside. Fun time for this father-son duo.
For sure, leading that top line. They're in a great spot right now here, working lap 29. Evan trying to lead away from that 38 car, and the interesting thing is, with your dad behind you, if you clear that 38 car, if you're Evan Adams, do you drop down to take the inside line, or do you stay with Pops and try to get him clear? We've seen in the past that sons will do stuff to help their dads at plate tracks. Dale Jr. with Dale Sr. at Talladega for his son, nearly killing the whole field to not push Bobby Labonte or whoever it was back to the front. So right now they're coming off 4 with a good run. They're almost both clear, and it's Evan Adams who leads lap 29.
Yeah. I would love to hear the dinner conversation with these two because, you know, some of these drivers say, I'll wreck my granny for a win. So we'll see what they choose to do. But, man, they got a nice momentum on that high side. Just need the numbers, and they definitely have that currently. MJ, I see you out there. He says, calling it now, commentators curse like you did to me in the F1. You know, it is real. I hate to say it, but the commentator's curse is a real thing and has happened a lot so far this season. Pre-race interviews, the curse on that is definitely, it's a struggle.
Yeah, and you didn't even have to wish them luck this time for it to happen to both of them. You just pulled them up for a random interview. It wasn't even driver spotlight this time.
Why is that? That's just crazy.
Opinion. Don't look at me, and you're the one who's apparently got a curse on the entire field.
I know. It's wild. But so far, Evan looking good. And rookie in the season along with his father, Michael J. Adams, but leading the field out here. He's got Jimmy Cocker, who has won several Daytona races, and he's got 4 wins this season, looking for his 5th. So great guy to have behind you pushing. Luke Allen, he is a driver that is very close on that cut line, -4 below the cut line. So that is a driver looking to trying to get in, and with Fortson not coming out tonight, he should be good to go.
Luke Allen?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
As long as nothing happens, you know.
As long as not asterisk to that until we take the checkered flag. Allen. Good to see that 7 car running well right now, considering he was in the middle of that wreck. His crew was able to get most of the damage fixed on that 7, and again, as long as he stays in the pack, that 7 car probably not the best car to be leading with its nose punched in, at least the last time I saw it. But if he can stay in that pack, he's got a nice chance to pick up some solid points if he can stay where he is.
On board with Luke, and man, oh man, you can see just how much he is on that throttle, off the throttle, trying to make sure he's giving drivers room. You know, you guys know if you've raced that things can happen quickly. You got to check up very quickly, and you got to count on the drivers behind you doing the same. So there's so much on the line, a lot to think about. And as I said before, don't forget about those temps. You got to keep checking that, making sure you're not overheating if you're on top of the driver in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. Only about a lap or two. You maybe have a lap and a half. Brody Folliker mid-pack trying to make a move. But how about this at the front? Matthew Gale to the lead off turn 4 with the pair of output drivers in Pizzichemi and Harmon behind him. But it's going to be Matthew Gale to the stripe leading lap 33 here at Daytona.
Very consistent driver tonight. We've seen him at the front quite a bit here, and that's going to be a leading here for him, for Matthew Gale. He's got Brian Pizzichemi behind him, Thomas Harmon in 3rd, Craig Meyer in 4th, up 15 spots, and Riley Sawyer is going to round out your top 5. But Brian Pizzichemi up 21 spots. That's kind of crazy.
Definitely, when again he was one of those cars that was out of our lead pack before our first caution of the night. So insane that he's able to get back up here and be in a fairly decent spot midway, you know, all the way up in P2 right now as we work to complete lap 34.
On board P4, Craig Meyer, and he's got Riley Sawyer. Take a look at that front end damage for him. You know, when you have the front end damage, it could definitely change how that aerodynamics work. So that's something that they are going to have to be careful with, and how much more damage he can incur. And just giving somebody a huge bump in front of you, if you're full throttling it and they are not up to speed, I mean, you could crunch that thing even more severe.
Absolutely, especially with the updates to this car, with like the front ends in real life being made a lot more sensitive to that. You can't just bunt someone out of the way in real life anymore. So drivers really have to be careful not to smash up the front end just trying to bump draft.
Take a look at the rear of the field. This is around P20th, and these guys 3 wide trying to get whatever they can out of their car and out of the spots here. The 37 in the middle between the 34 and the 29. Take a look how quickly that disappears. The 29 and the 3 who were just leading the field. they're in the back now. They're about 19th and 21st, respectively. So things can change very quickly.
Yeah, and it could be a tactical move on their part to go to the back and ride. They feel the energy shift at the front, realize they're not going to be able to stay up there or stay up like all the way at the front where they'd want to be completely out of the danger zone. They're kind of starting to slip back into that area of trouble, and they just decide, you know what, no, we'd rather just drop to the back, stay together, and then work our way back when we get a chance later on.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, if you're up there, you've led a couple of laps, you know what to expect. I'm not trying to do anything risky here. I want to be there at the end. I'm going to move to the back and let all the craziness happen in front of me. We still got a lot of laps left and a lot of strategy left to be had, so let them duke it out, and I'll be there in the end.
If you're at the back, I've always found it to be the best play to be as far at the back as you can be without losing the draft in a race like this, because for me, on plate tracks, I have a nasty tendency of being able to see it and react faster than other guys around me, and then I get punted into the wreck or run over. So having Michael and Evan be on that top line all the way back, Michael's in the best spot of the two of them, being able to he can get on the brakes and just come to a stop, provided nobody on the inside line behind him spins out. But you don't want to be too far back, because these cars, you get out about 0.6 of a second, you can lose that draft. So just gotta be kind of really play tactically when you come to a track like this.
Take a look at that momentum that Jimmy Cocker is getting on that outside. You can just see what the banking is here at Daytona. But man, what a huge run from Jimmy. He's got to be getting a huge push going on behind him. But great job for these drivers. He's got teammates Brody Folliker behind him. And it looks like Francis Hamilton also in the mix. Luke Allen and Joe Turley. So these guys are having fun at the front, trying to get everything they can out of that car.
Absolutely, and you can see Andrew Sanford again, the two cutoff drivers, Eliza, only with one car in between them at the moment. And I mean, that's all Luke said he needed to do was stay around Sanford, and he was going to get in over him. So Sanford needs to find a way around him and get up to the front, as Jimmy Cocker now has worked his way all the way out through here, Matthew Gale, and he leads us to lap 40.
I don't know what it is about this season, but Jimmy loves these cars. I mean, he's just done so amazing this season. He said that every car he's had at every track has just felt really good, really stable, and he's just had a blast trying to put that thing in victory lane. He's done it 4 times, and it's been proven no matter what car he drives, Matt, that he is going to put it in victory lane at Daytona. So he's had several wins, and he's already out at the front. Once again, lap 40 of 64. He's looking to make it win number 5 for the season, and probably, I think, win number 4 for Daytona overall, maybe?
I mean, I don't know why you're asking me. You're the stat person here. I mean, definitely, he just has that knack when it comes to the plate tracks, being able to put himself in the right position. And that's a lot of the time. That is 90% of the battle. When you come to a plate track, you can no longer, this isn't like a 1987's race where if you restart about 8th with like 5 to go, you can just slingshot your way through an old Gen 4 even. You have to be within the first few rows, provided calamity doesn't break out, if you're going to try to win here at Daytona or Talladega or even the new Echo Park. So Jimmy just finds a way to be in the right place at the right time and take advantage of the opportunities when thrown at him as they come to put Hunter Johnson another lap down.
Take a look at that lead that he had outside of his teammates on that high side just from the draft from Hunter Johnson. Kind of wild out there, but you can see Hunter trying to mix in with the group here as he makes his way back out. But Matthew Gale in the lead once again. The 78 of Brian Pizzakemi right behind Thomas Harmon in 3rd. And Jimmy Cocker, he's going to be in 4th.
for the moment until Craig Meyer pulled ahead of him for the moment. Those two fighting over 4th and 5th. Behind them fighting over 6th and 7th was Joe Turley and Brody Folliker. Brody slipping a little bit further back. Just all the positions changing so quickly here. Matt Burgess, I believe, is now up in, he's showing 8th on my screen with Brody 9th, and Tristan Health is in the top 10. But positions change so quickly here at Daytona. It's really hard to take you through the field.
I know, everything gets mixed up so quickly, and especially when you're side by side. I mean, heaven forbid they go 3 wide. You'll never keep track of them, but these guys just really doing a solid job trying to keep things underneath them. But take a look at this high side led by Joe Turley. He's got Jimmy Cocker right behind him and several other drivers. We also have a third line, but it's only Francis Hamilton. I do believe that is him out there. So he's going to want to make his way back down at least into that middle line.
Yeah, and for a second I thought Philip Bridgman was going to jump up and go with him, but I think Bridgman was just letting that 48 blend back into the middle line there. I really thought for a moment Philip might try to push it forward. 2 cars from that far back are going to have a problem trying to work their way forward, especially when that outside line has fallen so far off the lead, off that bottom line now. Is it's the top 6 cars, almost the top 7. Tristan Health not quite clear of the 30 on the back straightaway, but the top 6, Eliza, got ahead of that outside line. They're really working well right now as we come through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, they sure are. I'll tell you what, it's either this low line just holding on super strong, and then out of nowhere, that high side says, not so fast. We're coming up here too. We want some of the action, and we'll see them make a run for it. But that low line has been very dominant so far tonight. And Real, I see you out there. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great night. Do you guys have a guess on who you want to see as the winner, or who you're rooting for? Let us know in chat.
Let us know if you've gone with Jimmy Cocker, if you've gone with Austin Mitty, or if you've picked some other random driver in this field, as we have all but one driver. Every driver is still out here. All but one is on the lead lap. So anybody in this lead pack on the lead lap could still find a way to win this race as we come down to work to end 20 to go, going to 19 laps to go.
Yeah, soon we're going to start seeing these guys get a little more aggressive, start to make the moves possibly 3 wide. Things are going to start to get tight. I would not be surprised if we see another caution or 2. But man, I'll tell you what, this season has been extremely clean. We've had a lot of races with no cautions, including last week at Dover. Now next week, we're headed to Darlington, the Lady in Black, and that always gets a little crazy, so we'll see what happens there. But tonight, we've had 2 cautions so far.
And aside from that, really a fairly clean race. These races in these cars have a tendency to get to be just a little bit insane, but right now our drivers in this field have done a pretty good job of managing to keep their cars under them outside of those 2 accidents.
For those guys who raced the SnB series for F1, Matthew Gale was over on there racing last season, and it was fun watching him race out there on the road courses, and you can see him out here leading still. Let's take a look at how many laps led. He has led 11 laps here at Daytona, so he is not only a road racer, this guy knows how to do the super speedways.
That is it's weird, isn't it, that sometimes some of the best road course guys end up being adept at the big ovals that are the complete antithesis to a road course race. It is weird about that, but he's found a way to get himself in position a lot of the times in any league I race in. It's just the luck and sometimes the momentum just doesn't go his way. I believe 2 seasons ago in Shake and Bake, he was in contention to win at Talladega twice in the closing laps, but both times got spun from the lead within sight of a potential win. Wouldn't that be something if he could pull it off today?
Yeah, that would be exciting for sure. Love to see it happen. But hey, I'm not gonna jinx him, so I'm not saying a word. I'm zipping it right there, but we'll see what happens. On board with John Velocity, he is currently 18th. He started 17th, so you can see he is just, he looks confident, relaxed, not trying to be all over the driver in front of him, which is going to be Luke Allen in that number 7 machine. But man, being in the back, I mean, you have to be on top of it. You can hear him off the throttle quite a bit, not trying to be on top of that field. You got to make sure you have enough room that if something does happen, you can avoid the chaos. Yet, you want to make sure you're close enough that you can make moves when you need to.
Yeah, and it's such a difficult decision on when is the time to go. Like, and there's no right answer. Like, right now, the leaders have all decided to be at the front because they feel it's time to go now. But you have, or they found their way up there. They restarted up there. They took the chance on track position, and now they're just up there. Others, you can see, like Francis Hamilton trying to go 3 wide mid-pack with Austin Mitty behind him. Like, the further in the pack you get in any like plate race, especially the Gen 7, it's so much more difficult to try to make a run to the front just because of the nature of this racing. You need to build up so much momentum that if you wait to the final few laps and you're running even about, like I'd say, 8th or 9th, depending on the run, you're not going to get there unless like an absolute calamity breaks out and you can like slide through it. So these drivers have to start making moves like right about now as we work with 14 laps to go. If you're gonna go, you got to start moving your way forward about now to have a chance.
And I would say now is the time, and they are doing it. Francis Hamilton on that outside pushing Hunter Johnson, I do believe that is, and there is zero wiggle room for a mistake. I mean, one of these guys weaves or bobbles, I mean, you're probably taking out the whole field. Daytona is just not wide. Talladega, a lot wider, a lot more forgiving. Daytona can be absolutely terrifying, and they have to do this for how many more laps, Matt? This is crazy. Lap 51 of 64. Still a lot of racing left, and when you're doing this, if you're going 3 wide for the remainder of the race, good night. My nerves are shot by the finish line.
Absolutely, and I can already, Luke Allen moved into that middle lane deeper in the pack, but I was about to say, he's probably just content to ride back there because he was right by Andrew Stanton to move up. But in reality, all he has to do is just stay in front of Sanford or stay right around Sanford, given his massive advantage over that 37 in points. He doesn't want to really risk taking out, but that outside line, that way outside line, got all the way up to Michael J. Adams, and then it kind of stalled out a little bit. Meanwhile, Joe Turley trying to go for the lead against Matthew Gale off turn number 4.
Yeah, a lot of movement back here. Jordan McGraw just flung up to the high side. Austin Mitty just going wherever he can make a move and gain position. We now have 4 cars on that outside line as it is 3 wide. Again, the longer you do this, the more wiggle you're going to have here. I mean, we can just see Hunter Johnson trying to hold on to that car. He's getting huge shoves by Francis Hamilton. And in fact, I think I just saw Francis possibly make some contact with the wall. So things are going to get very sketchy very quickly.
And all it'll take is 2 drivers meeting in the middle just because they're trying to both go for the same real estate. We saw it happen with Brody Folliker and Craig Meyer for the first caution. It doesn't take much. All it takes is one driver drifting a little bit too far one way and the other one doesn't anticipate, and you end up with a whole bunch of wrecked race cars right now. For me, how about that? Joe Turley off the bumper of Jimmy Cocker and Brody Folliker going for the lead at Daytona as we work 11 laps to go.
This racing is so incredibly tight. Joe Turley out front, already said earlier on, he's having a blast. Loves making the moves, loves trying to be aggressive, getting out there, and he is out front leading this lap here. Matthew Gale, he is going to make a run for it also. These two just switching back and forth, but take a look. Jimmy Cocker really pushing him. We have Brody Folliker kind of hanging back a little bit, but Matthew Gale going to lead that lap, and still, we are 3 wide, middle of the pack.
Yeah, Francis Hamilton pushed Hunter Johnson up there for the race. He had Austin Mitty and Jordan McGraw, helping, but then he dove in line, and you just see how quickly that outside line fell apart that major outside line was undone, because they were trying to work 3 wide all the way up there, and now the 34, Jordan McGraw, caught out there with no help. He's gonna have to get back in line at the tail of that line unless Dakota Wilkins decides to let him in. I think he does, so good for him, not going all the way to the back. But we're down to 9 laps to go, Eliza. It's really getting down to crunch time.
Man, oh man, under the lights here at Daytona, 64 laps for the race. And these two are already making some contact in the lead as they go side by side. A lot of help from behind. This is a strategy track that you need a lot of teammates, whether they're your actual teammates or not. You cannot win it solo. You have to do whatever you can to make sure you're out ahead. And right now it is Joe Turley, but these guys keep switching back and forth.
And that's true. And that's the thing. Matthew Gale's single car team, he doesn't have any teammates in here this season. But right now, he's got actually probably 2 of the best behind him when it comes down to this style of racing late in the race. If they're at the front, Brian Pizzikemi and Thomas Harmon, 2 output racing teammates behind that number 67. They know their only chance right now is to keep Gale in that position, keep him out there until the last second, and then maybe try to make a move on the final lap. So right now, that's what they got to do, and they're doing a nice job of it. All 3 of them clear of that 30 going into turn number 3.
You got to remember, Brian Pizzikemi, he's only 6 points above that cut line. He currently sits P11. Fortson Poston, he is not here tonight. He was 12th, and there's only 12 cars that can make it. That is going to push Luke Allen up as he was -4 right below the cut line. So things are very close. Matthew Gale, I don't know that he can even make it in. I would have to do the points on that, but man, it is going to be so tight with who makes it in for the final 12.
Yeah, and at this point, last check, I think he was just mathematically in, but he would have needed a lot of help. And at this point, he's just got to do the only thing he can do. He has to try to win this. That's the only thing he can do, and then let the chips fall where they may. And right now, coming off turn 4, he's 6 laps away from being able to accomplish that and giving himself the best chance.
Yeah, and would this be his first win? I'm pretty sure it would be. So you know he wants it bad. It would be really, really cool to see. He's getting a nice push from Brian Pizzikemi, Thomas Harmon, Craig Meyer, all 3 of those drivers working together. Brian, Thomas, Craig. I know they are in chat, but man, it is getting very, very sketchy out here on this high line. You can see these drivers all over each other, and that 3rd line, they're starting to move.
Yeah, exactly. Joe Turley saw the run coming. He realized it, and he just jumped up in front of Hunter S. Johnson to take that run there off the back straightaway. It left Jimmy Cocker out for dead. Now that's kind of put Jimmy in the middle, 3 wide. The front cars are 2x2, but then you got 3 wide middle of the pack. Open and just. Oh boy, Austin Mitty wobbling, Philip Bridgman wobbling, everybody trying to get everything they can right now. And you can just see that 3rd line coming undone while Hunter Johnson tries to push that 30 car to the lead down the back straightaway into turn number 3.
This is absolute insanity. Talk about aggressiveness picking up, just the sketchiness overall. I mean, it is just so hard to hold it out here. You can see Francis Hamilton, he is up here in the mix, and Hunter Johnson, he's not even out here as a lead car. That is not for position, and you see him right behind that 30 car pushing him. But he's not in second, so he is just out here racing for the fun of it. Meanwhile, take a look at that front end damage on that 48 machine of Francis Hamilton. If he's out there and he's trying to make a go at the win, that could put a little damper on his top end speed here.
It could, but like I said, Eliza, him being in that pack car to his front and car behind. Like, he's in a very, very nice spot, being able to just kind of stay there. Again, if he was leading that line from personal experience, you don't want to be pushing a car out front with that type of nose damage, because you're just going to go backwards. Like, that just acts as a plow in the air. Like, these cars already have the aerodynamic property of a brick compared to like an Indy car, but when you punch the front end in, it just acts as a giant scoop at the front, and it just slows you way down. So right now, 34 got the wall off turn 2. They keep it straight as we come to 2 laps to go. And the front 3 again able to get clear of the 30 and the 88. And Hunter Johnson, again, not racing for the win. He's just racing to try to give somebody else a shot at this checkered flag. And right now, the lucky recipient might be that 30 car as we come to 2 laps to go.
Coming up, 2 to go, 2 wide here at Daytona Superspeedway. Final race in the regular season. Jimmy Cocker has secured the regular season championship. Who is going to move on for the final 12 as we go into the chase next week at Darlington? It will be a throwback race, but man, oh man, take a look at this outside line. Cars going everywhere. Coming up into 3 and 4, we're getting ready to hit 1 to go, which will be no cautions if we can make it there, that is. But Matthew Gale, he is going to be leading coming out of 4. We'll see if he can still lead it. Man, it is just going to be so tight here as we get ready to see who is going to win here at Daytona Superspeedway.
Absolutely, and he's got the lead on the Bell lap with the 2 Output Racing teammates behind him, and Gale low on fuel.
No.
He's got to be out of gas. That's going to lift the 78 of Pizzichemi to the race lead. Disaster for the 67.
Heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken. Matthew Gale out of it for the win here. Brian Pizzichemi, his hopes are alive and well to try to get the win here, but it is not secured. Who is going to take it? You can see we have wiggling all over the place.
Hunter
Johnson on the outside. There they go. Jose Ruiz hard into the wall.
Harmon makes the move into the tri-oval. It's not going to work. Pizzichemi wins at Daytona.
Man, oh man, what a race there. Brian Pizzichemi holds out Matthew Gale going to be out of fuel, and that is going to bring the win to Brian Pizzichemi. Craig Meyer gets P2. Thomas Harmon in 3rd. How about that? Riley Sawyer in 4th. Matt Burgess rounding out your top 5. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
For sure. 6th place, Joe Turley, Francis Hamilton, Jimmy Cocker, Dylan Raub comes home with a top 10, and John Velocity completes it. I had gotten a message, Eliza, from Gale's spotter saying they were 1 short on gas, and I was thinking he was going to have to pit coming off 4, and he stayed. I was thinking, well, maybe they got it wrong, and then he pulled off just past the trial board. I had to sit there and go, no.
Man, oh man.
They were desperate. They needed a caution, so every time there was smoke in the air.
There we go. Brian burning it down. Yeah, half a lap. That is just brutal to see, but
how about Brian?
Burning it down out here. We got to get Craig Meyer in, Thomas Harmon. These guys got to be celebrating. You know, a lot of teamwork moving through out here to get this win done. But man, oh man, what a race. And a lot going on that final lap as we saw a few drivers lose it coming out of there.
Oh, man.
Yeah, big.
Ryan.
Hey, how's it going?
Crazy. Great job out there. Did you expect to see a win here tonight at Daytona?
No, not at all. not at all. It was one of those just kind of waiting and seeing. Super speedways are always kind of a crapshoot where you end up. So it's just a matter of, you know, just riding and then having some really good teammates pushing at the end.
All right. First, is this your first win for SnB?
I don't know. I think I think so.
I think
At
it
least
is.
at least the first broadcasted win that I know of.
Yeah, that's crazy. So first win, we're gonna say first win until proven otherwise. But man, take us through. You were pushing Matthew Gale. Did he say over the radio that he might be running out, or how shocked were you when you saw that happen?
I didn't know if he was going to be out. I did know after that stop we were kind of riding in the line because we were all really close, and whoever was going to be out in front was going to have significantly less. But I was kind of hoping that he wouldn't run out. But as he went down to the front stretch into one, he pulled off, and it's like, oh no, that's a bad time because we were just gearing up to push to the end and not lift and hope for the best.
Now, I know I've worked with you guys, and we always do well when we go to super speedway. Strategy wise, did you have that down and talking through it throughout the race?
That's a good question. Strategy wise, it didn't really pop up until that last caution when we all kind of lined up, and then it was just try to ride and save fuel, and then at the end try to maintain where we were so we could didn't have to worry about the outside lane, because every time they got a charge we had to push to keep them from getting ahead of us.
Well, you started last here tonight. You end up first with a win. A great night. A huge congratulations to you guys. Played the strategy right, worked together well, and you got it done. So really cool to see you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I gotta ask one more
I'm out of
question
breath.
though. Next week, we're headed to Darlington. What do you think about the Lady in Black?
I'm going to paint the outside wall with my car.
Fair
But
enough.
We'll see.
Fair enough. Again, congratulations on the win. Great job.
All right, thank you.
All right, Matt, we have Craig Meyer out here for a P2. He had some fans out there in chat, so let's give him an interview.
Indeed, Craig Meyer, Matt and Eliza up in the booth. Congratulations on that P2 run for the Bass Pro Shops Busch Light number 25 tonight. Coming to the final laps, did you think you had a chance to get up here tonight? You were kind of in that group, but with the 67 up front and the 30 lurking, the 18 and 78 in front of you, did you feel like you maybe had something for them coming to the end?
I think I may have, but at the same time, you know how it is. You jump out of line. If you don't have friends, you drop to the back. And I knew my best bet was just to stay tucked in behind Brian and Thomas and push all we could and everything and go for something like the last 2 laps. And it just ended up, I was honestly not going to even kid about it. Just happy to finish one of these on all 4 rubbers and have a clean race.
Indeed. And did you think that was going to happen at Daytona, given how this track is and how we had like a big crash mid-pack, like relatively early on in the race?
I was honestly surprised. I figured when we hit 10 to go and it started getting dicey and I heard the 3rd lane was coming, I had a feeling we was going to go somehow to a green, white, checkered and everything. And that's where we was kind of just keeping up with fuel and, how far we could go. And if we got a green, white, checkered, if we could do one, or, how that was going to play out. And honestly, it was kind of just manage the temps, stay in line, do the status quo, and it worked out.
Fuel ended up being, a deciding factor for a couple of drivers, including the guy who led to that white flag in Matthew Gale. Was that a concern for you, or were you fairly confident you were going to be able to make it all the way home?
I knew I could make it all the way. We knew the leader was going to be tight because of being in the lead. When we had the last yellow, I know Brian and Thomas and myself, we all come in and topped off. And I knew for a fact, like myself, I was probably like 3.5 to the good. I think Brian was a little bit tighter because he was pushing the leader. So I know we were good to the end, but depending on if we got the lead when that happened, there's a constant moving field goal, more or less.
Gotcha. Well, you survived, gave your fans a show, and came home on the podium. Congratulations, Craig. Next week, going to Darlington. What are your thoughts headed to there?
My honest to God thoughts are if I can make 10 laps without putting it in the fence, I'll be satisfied.
Sometimes that's all you can hope for. Craig, congratulations again on the second place run. Look forward to seeing you next week at Darlington.
Appreciate it, y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Eliza, 2 output cars on the podium. You've got the second one, Mr. Thomas Harmon.
Yeah, Thomas, man, you gained 6 spots from where you started. I know you had a lot of teamwork going on. What was the strategy moving into tonight? I know you're great on points as far as the chase goes. So, were you out here just for fun, or are you trying to stir things up a little bit?
Well, I knew that third and fourth were pretty close to me going into the race, so I wanted to try to stay towards the front and maintain that second place in the points. But I had no idea what the overall strategy was going to be, even when we were going down the backstretch for the pace lap. It could be good to stay up front. It could be good to stay in back to avoid everything. But we managed to keep it up front and stay out of the big ones.
Now, seeing that Brian won, and I know that you would love to get another win out here. What could you have done differently to make that happen and get a win tonight?
I probably could have taken a run, moved up in front of the outside lane when it had one of those surges, but Brian's my teammate. I know he's helped me in the past. I wasn't going to leave him out to dry like that. I popped out at the last just to make it look interesting. I didn't try to side draft him or anything to kill his run, but I just wanted to make it look good to finish, and glad he came away with it, and Craig and P2.
Well, you guys had a great run, and as I said before with Brian, I've worked with you guys on super speedways, and I know the strategy is there, and you guys just do a phenomenal job trying to judge it and work together. So no surprise here that we see you guys up front and Brian getting a win, and I want to say it's got to be his first win for SnB, so cool to see you on that end. But Thomas, next week we're headed to Darlington. How do you feel about that?
I want to say skeptical, but at the same time, Darlington, I always seem to run well there, but I don't know how, why. It doesn't make any sense to me, but it happened. So hopefully we can just come out swinging next week.
Well, you got 2 wins so far this season. Do you see a third in sight?
I would like to say so, but my luck, the month prior to this was a little sketchy at best. So I don't want to I don't want to say too much and jinx myself.
Fair enough. All right. Well, great job out here, P3 for the night. And it's great seeing, I'm sure, your teammate getting a win. So great job.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, Matt, that is it for us tonight at Daytona Superspeedway. 64 laps, and these drivers have a way of bringing the action in at every track, no matter which it is. It was a fun one for sure.
Absolutely. Definitely did not have my microphone switched off while you were talking to Thomas. But absolutely, all these drivers did an awesome job. We had 22 cars I think, all 23 cars in that lead pack that started this race. Yes, Hunter Johnson laps down, but still in the mix to try to help somebody try to get to the front. The guy who led at the white flag ended up not winning, but not how it usually happens, where they get taken out or on a last lap pass off of turn 4 or something like that. We had a giant wreck at the end, but it didn't affect the end of the race. Everything you could want in the final laps at Daytona.
Absolutely. Well, that is it for us tonight at Daytona. Next week, we're headed to Darlington. Be sure to tune in. It's going to be a wild one. It's going to be also a throwback race. So tune in next Monday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, for the follows, for supporting the drivers and the broadcast. It was a lot of fun. We'll see you next week.
Take care, everyone.